Quick one from the road today, guys. I'm really busy, so struggle to get the camera. I will be tonight, 7:30, live Q&A with the mortgage brokers. But I wanted to just address the nationwide house price index showing a 0.5% rise in prices. Because people, you can see it now. You can see people going, well, Halifax and nationwide both say house prices are going up now. First of all, let me remind you that it is the trend, the overall trend, not the overall trend of one index, the overall trend of all indices is the best we've got to go on until we actually get official, final, confirmed house prices, which isn't even when the Land Registry puts its first report out, because that's only reporting on very small proportions, like 15% at the moment. We won't know the truth for some time, and if people are surprised that I'm still standing my ground and sticking my colours to the mast on 35% price falls peak to trough, and you think, God, Charlie, really? I mean, I've already had people saying, come on, Charlie, admit you're wrong, admit you're wrong. No, this is what some people call the dead cat bounce. It's what some people call the bull trap. If you've never heard of the bull trap, Google it, look it up, see what it is. It's a real thing, right? It's after there's been an initial fall, you then get people who think, oh, that's it, that's the small fall happening. So now we can pile back in and buy. But even in the housing market, that doesn't really apply as much because of this massive time delay that you have on house price reporting that you don't have in any other indices or any other commodities or stocks or bonds. All the other price reporting is fairly up to date, whereas we have like a 6 to 9 month time lag. So what's actually happening at the coal face today has nothing to do with what's happening in the indices that are coming out, right? At best, these indices from Nationwide and Halifax are 10 weeks old, more like 12 in terms of when they're reporting on. There's a couple of, I mean, it's a lot smaller time lag than the Land Registry, that's for sure. But they're also quite small data sets. They're not the whole of the market. You've got to remember that, right? It's about 10 to 15% of the market. And it's mortgage transactions only, not cash transactions. But there's long list of things. And again, overall, the long-term trend of these things is always right, but there's always this time delay. So I'm getting increasing reports of sellers dropping prices, sellers accepting lower offers. It's good news that transaction volumes are holding steady and not going into stagnation. Stagnating sales transactions is bad for everyone. And my motivation is to help as many movers as possible to move house. And so good transaction volumes is good news if you need to move house. It means there is liquidity in the market. It means that there is buyer and seller activity. It means people can move. You need both of those things, right? If you need to sell and buy, then you need a buyer and a seller, don't you? So that's all good news. I've heard increasing stories of more and more landlord properties coming up for sale because, again, it takes quite a while, especially if you're a landlord. If you want to sell a property, you can't just whack it on the market the next day. It takes months before you can really put it on the market if you want to wait for your tenancy to expire or your tenant to move out, or whether they've served Section 21s to get tenants out so they can sell. Maybe some of them are selling with tenants in. I've seen some of that happening. But all of this stuff takes a long time, and that's only just beginning. So the effective interest rate rise is just beginning to show at the coal face, not even yet on reported prices. So my position is this: the falls we've seen so far are mostly from things that were happening before the mini budget last year. We have not yet started to see the effects of the mini budget come through in fully reported prices, and I think we will start to see that in the summer and the late summer. And you will start to see it, I think, quite sharply then. Because you've got all these different things happening at different times. So seller reality, I mean, look at how many price drops there are. There are very, very high numbers of price drops happening. What does that tell you? Look at the supply of property. It's going up. Every single week it's going up. Supply is going up. Demand has fallen, but it's now holding steady. Demand is not yet going back up, but it is holding steady. So you've got to kind of step back, zoom out, disregard all the guff, because there's masses of it. Hold your ground, be patient, because ultimately, we've got 27 or something years of data that shows that the strongest correlation with house price growth is wage growth, and wage growth is currently negative in real terms, right? So real wage growth correlates more strongly to house price growth than anything else. But there's a time lag. So house prices will keep falling, even if there's a short little bump because of a spring, a bit of extra activity. Activity is good, guys, but remember, activity levels are not as good as they would normally be this time of year. We're still considerably down on transaction volumes from last year, like 25% down from last year. Everyone keeps comparing with 2019 because it's pre-pandemic, and fair enough. So they're saying kind of normal transaction volumes, which is fine. But it is complicated unless you actually study this stuff endlessly. It's so hard to think about what indices means what, and is it mortgage or cash, and is it both, and is it land, how long is the time delay? It's exhausting. But my position remains unchanged. And no, I'm not one of those guys that will just hold on to my position until the end. I'm going on the fundamentals. And what I see and what I hear at the coalface, what I'm seeing in best agent data, which is more and more property coming onto the market as a proportion of stuff that's being sold, and median house price, asking prices of sold stuff not going up like average asking prices are. It's all pointing in the direction of the house price falls, guys. All right, hope that's helpful, and hopefully see you on tonight's live stream. Bye.